Net zero will cost us, Australia, close to $300 billion in unrealised economic activity and over 478,000 jobs. How do you replace this revenue? Well, the only person I can see warning of this crisis prior to May 21, if we're voting for Australia's future, is Senator Matt Canavan. He joins me, and typically of him, have a look at the picture. Where are you, Matt?
I'm just outside Ayr here, Alan. Great part of the world. Burdekin region produces lots of wealth for our country, and it's just next door to the beautiful Great Barrier Reef, which is in great shape if anyone wants to come visit.
Good on you. They'd want us shifting from coal to gas. Both are fossil fuels.
Well, that's right, Alan, although some out there want us to get rid of all of that and go back to some kind of Stone Age. We need energy, and clearly everybody needs energy. You just have to look to Europe today and the mess that they've got themselves into. The German government over the past decade has spent over 250 billion Australian dollars on green energy, the so-called Energiewende program, and they've become more dependent on Russian gas and coal over that period than they were before. Now, of course, they're in a desperate straits because they want to reduce their dependence on Russian coal, oil and gas, but they don't have a lot of alternatives because their banks haven't been financing coal mines here in Australia, and we don't have extra just to give them overnight. And now we have the absurd consequence where we're all trying to stand against the aggression we see from Putin's regime, yet Western Europe is paying Russia €1 billion a day for coal, oil and gas. A month into the invasion, they'd tallied up €35 billion in payments, and they provided Vladimir Zelensky and the Ukrainian government a mere €1 billion. So Western Europe, for all their rhetoric, for all their so-called unity, they're actually paying Putin 35 times more than the assistance they're providing to the Ukraine today. And that's all a consequence of these net zero ESG policies that have bankrupted Western Europe.
And they'd have us believe, of course, that they were fighting Putin, funding the man they allegedly are fighting. Just let's come to Labor. They want to cut emissions by 43% from 2005 levels, and that's by 2030. That's in, 8 years' time. Net zero by 2050. The Coalition wants to cut emissions by 26 to 28%, not Labor's 43 by 2030, and net zero by 2050. Why is the government on the same unity ticket as Labor?
Well, there is a difference here, Alan. There is a difference. Look, of course, I would like to see us not sign up to these international agreements that commit us to commit the same sort of economic suicide that Europe has gone through. But there is a key difference between the Liberal National parties and the Labor Party this election. The Labor Party does want to impose a carbon tax, a new form of carbon tax to meet that 43% reduction. They are going to take the 215 businesses around the country. They're our iron ore mines, our gold mines, our gas facilities, our coal mines, our last 2 oil refineries, as well as what's left of heavy manufacturing in this country, and put a carbon tax on it by requiring those businesses to buy more and more carbon credits every year. And Alan, when you make somebody do something and make somebody buy something, that's a tax. That's what the Labor Party want to do. Now, in my view, that's exactly the wrong thing we need right now, given the uncertain times. We need to be making money, we need to be supporting business, and we don't need a tax on things like our last 2 oil refineries right now.
I just want to come to that in a minute. Just one question. Labor claims its climate plans will create 604,000 jobs and spur $76 billion of investment. Now, surely this is Alice in Wonderland stuff.
Well, Alan, what they do is they say when you buy these carbon credits, you're gonna go and plant a lot of trees on pastures like these behind me, and there'll be jobs apparently in planting trees. Of course, once the trees are planted, there's no more jobs. They're temporary. They're a sugar hit, and they're not like the sugar behind me, which actually provides ongoing jobs for a region. And look, Alan, I just think this is so mad. I mean, we have a situation right now in the world. I mean, just look around the world. There were food riots in Indonesia a couple of weeks ago. There were food riots in Peru 3 weeks ago. Some poorer countries around the world are struggling to feed themselves because of the increased prices for fertiliser and food, which is a direct consequence of Europe's policies around the Ukraine. And now we're going to come up with a policy that pays farmers, like here in the Burdekin, to stop growing food and plant trees instead, and make food prices even more expensive and the world less secure. What we should be doing right now is encouraging more farming, encouraging food production, because that's the greatest thing we can do for humanity, not just here in Australia, but around the world. That's why the Liberal National Party, again, a big difference, are building the Urannah Dam just west of here in Collinsville, the Hells Gate Dam, where I'm just on the Burdekin River here, upstream is the Hells Gate Dam. And we just announced today $80 million to build a pipeline from here, from the Burdekin to Bowen, and open up another 40,000 hectares of farmland there. That's the difference between the Liberal National Parties and the Labor Party. The Labor Party wants to shut down farming industries, whereas we want to grow and develop those industries because we believe in farmers, we believe in farmland, and we believe that's the best way to make our country stronger.